Conservative group America's First Legal is suing the FBI now on allegations that the Bureau covered up communications with big tech companies on censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story. We know that from Mark Zuckerberg, who told us that the FBI called Facebook. This suit comes as Tony Bobulinski, a former business partner of the president's son, sits down with Tucker Carlson for a tell-all interview about Hunter Biden and his influence peddling and Joe Biden. Watch.
I think the Bidens probably thought they were going to make billions of dollars. There are hundreds of data points that Joe Biden was acting in a capitalistic term, I would say the chairman. He's a figurehead. He shows up at meetings, shakes hands, advises, has faith in his team. Effectively, that was Joe Biden's role in the Biden family business ventures and around the world.
Well, it was quite an interview. Bobulinski also said that the FBI altered history in handling Hunter Biden's laptop just before the 2020 election, as you know and you saw in real time. Joining me right now is RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. Ronna, good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. What are your thoughts on what the FBI did right before the 2020 election? You heard from Tony Bobulinski, and this is not a Hunter Biden story as much as it is a Joe Biden story, if he is the subject of the influence peddling.
Oh, it's egregious. It's government interference in an election. The RNC, actually, before the election, we filed an FEC complaint against Twitter for suppressing the Hunter Biden story and limiting what the American people knew. But now we know Joe Biden met with Hunter Biden's associates 17 different times. Hunter Biden clearly monetized his dad's position as vice president with countries like China. Don't you think it's important we know if the president of the United States has compromised through his son with countries like China? This is something that the American people deserve to know before the 2020 election. They did not, because of the government and because of big tech. And this is one of the reasons we have to win back the House and the Senate so we can hold these entities accountable and this doesn't ever happen again.
Well, you're facing a real uphill battle. That's not the end of it. You also say that Google is suppressing millions of election-related emails. Just in the last month, the committee is accusing the company of marking more than 22 million emails as spam, including get out the vote messages. You're exploring legal options. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so we spent the day on the phone with attorneys yesterday. We are very seriously looking at how we can sue Google. Google controls 53% of the emails in the United States, and they are suppressing right now Republican get out the vote emails ahead of this election. We know this for the past 10 months. The last 4 days of every month, all of our emails go undeliverable, 0% deliverability. This is outrageous. It is voter suppression by big tech, and we have to find a way to hold them accountable. The RNC is looking to sue. We're hoping to have an announcement soon on that. But this is another reason why we need Republicans to take back the House and the Senate, because we need to find a way to keep big tech's thumb off the scale in our elections and our democracy, because they should not be able to suppress emails that we're sending to people who asked for us to send these emails. They have to opt in, Maria.
Well,
they have to opt in. So Google is saying, oh, it's a Republican email. We're going to suppress it. We're going to put it in spam, or we're not going to deliver it.
Wow. Why? Why are they doing this? I mean, we know that Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, told us that right before the 2020 election, the FBI and the DOJ actually called Facebook and said, oh, we've got, misinformation, and pretty much directed them to censor the Hunter Biden story, which is exactly what they did. And now you're saying that they are censoring emails to get out the vote for Republicans. Why? Why is technology putting their hand on the scale for Democrats?
I think this is a really important question. We have to understand. We have to hold big tech accountable. They should not be able to use basically a utility like email. Everybody's using Gmail. They don't know that Google is censoring Republican emails. We're telling people to register to vote, to get out the vote. We just tried to send them in Virginia and Minnesota. They suppressed 9.9 million of our emails last month. This is outrageous.
And you can't do anything about it? You just spoke to lawyers? Or what can you do about this?
We're trying to, it's probably going to be through a state route, and every state has a different law, and we are trying to find a way to bring a lawsuit against Google. We are trying to raise public awareness. People should be aware that if you have a Gmail right now, Google is suppressing your turnout emails and your registration emails from the Republican Party. And it's not just a little bit, Maria. It's not going down to 5% or 10%. It's 0% deliverability. The last 4 months of every month, the past 10 months, they're doing it with our fundraising emails as well.
That is incredible. Meanwhile, you don't see the media talking about what's going on with the wide open border. You've got a Fox News op-ed. Your most recent op-ed is titled "Deadly Fentanyl Puts Our Kids on the Front Lines of Biden's Border Crisis." You write, "Keeping our kids safe should not be a partisan issue, and neither should securing our border to stop drugs from flowing into our country." Yeah, I would say most people agree with that statement, Rana, but that's not the reality of the situation. The administration claims the border is secure, despite all of this fentanyl poisoning underway.
Yeah, the administration's lying to the American people. The media is participating in their cover-up. But we know this. We know a 5-month-old died in Georgia this year. We know a 15-month-old died in Georgia. The family that was on Fox News the other day of this young man, Logan Rockwell, who died at 19 at University of Wisconsin from fentanyl. These kids are being fed these pills. The Biden administration is willingly allowing this poison to come into our communities and into our families because they are not securing our border, and our kids are paying the price. And I am scared to death. I have a 17-year-old. I think every mother right now is having a conversation with their kids saying, don't take a pill that you don't know what it is. They're candy coloring it. They're making it look like sweet tarts. You know, Jimmy Kimmel made fun of me for saying this. They said I'm raising an alarm bell. How about every single platform right now, get rid of your partisanship and start raising the awareness of what's happening to our kids across this country as they are being poisoned, and the Biden administration is turning their back on these families because they can solve the problem. Donald Trump solved it. Why can't Joe Biden? How
uninformed of Kimmel, by the way. So, Rana, with all of this, what are your expectations for the midterm? Are you going to face an uneven situation when people go to the ballot box because of everything you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, Google is participating right now in voter suppression. Okay, that's just a fact. We already have a media that doesn't share the whole story of the news. Thank you for having me on your show and being so honest. So that's the uphill battle. But the American people are smart. And they know that fentanyl is in their cities. They know that crime is running rampant. They know that they're paying more at the pump. They know that their kids have deficits coming out of this pandemic. And they are ticked off. And that's why we're going to win back the House and the Senate in November.
All right, Rana, we'll be watching 34 days away now. Rana, good to talk with you. Thank you, Rana McDaniel, with us this morning.